Hey guys, I'm Thomas from Team B9, and today we'll discuss the ObEN case. ObEN is a technology startup from LA that focuses on personal artificial intelligence, or PAI. They develop avatars that are digital representations of our flesh and blood cells. These avatars can talk like us and mimic our facial expressions in great detail. They can also do things that our real-life version cannot do, such as speaking a different language. ObEN's mission is to develop digital avatars that are as playful and unique as everyday life. Let's go over the agenda of what we'll discuss today. First, we'll talk about the PAIs and the technology ObEN is using to develop these. Second, we'll talk about blockchain, as well as some of its pros and cons. Finally, we'll talk about the strategic trade-offs the company is facing. Let me briefly explain some definitions before talking about how they are related to the way ObEN develops its PAIs. First, there's AI, which refers to a computer system that solves tasks that usually require human intelligence. Second, machine learning, referring to the use of statistical techniques to give computers the ability to learn with data without being explicitly programmed. In other words, this allows computers to turn data into knowledge. And finally, there's natural language processing, which is the use of computational linguistics and artificial intelligence to enable computers to understand and to interpret human language, including speech and the written word. ObEN's personal artificial intelligence technologies are built on the principles of transfer learning, which means that a technology solution applied for one problem can also be applied towards other issues. When more individuals share their experiences with ObEN, this will benefit the broader community by increasing the quality of its avatars. In other words, the more data ObEN has to train its algorithms, the better the quality of its avatars. The company collects this data from its customers. On the basis of audiovisual material, the algorithm is able to create an avatar that mimics the behaviors and responses of users in a realistic manner. This is, as we've seen, called natural language processing. It makes sure that the avatar uses your tone, speech patterns, facial expressions, and even mimics the smallest movements of your head and the blinking of your eyes. But in order to do this successfully, the algorithm needs lots of data. For this, ObEN partnered with local schools and colleges in LA, and later with entertainment companies around the globe. The process itself is fairly simple. A user takes a selfie with their smartphone, and within a few seconds, a PAI that resembles them can be created on their mobile device. In order to mimic the voice, the user would then read a few sentences from a provided script. The result will be a basic but functional PAI. ObEN stores all the data it collects to develop basic PAIs and increase their quality on a blockchain. A blockchain is a distributed ledger technology. A distributed ledger is a database that is spread across multiple computing devices. Rather than having one central database, all connected devices or nodes hold a copy of the same database. You could also say that blockchain is a decentralized database. A major benefit of blockchain is that data, once added, cannot be altered. For example, if you want to alter data, you can always do this in your local copy of the database, but the other participants will soon see that their own database looks different and will therefore reject your change. We say that blockchain is tamper evident. Another benefit is that the network is less susceptible to cyber attacks. If one node is attacked, the others will always have a copy of the right data. ObEN uses a blockchain called Project PAI with three specific goals in mind: data storage and sharing, authentication, and computation. Let's talk about data storage and data sharing first. If you want to add data to the blockchain, you have to make a transaction to yourself with a description of that data. The transaction is verified by the network to ensure there's no foul play, and then adopted by every copy of the database. It also allows you to engage in data sharing, for example, if you want to give other people permission to use your PAIs. This brings us to authentication. One of the benefits of blockchain is that users don't have to sign over their data to ObEN. Instead, they retain the ownership of their data themselves, which is particularly relevant for customers who are concerned with their privacy. The use of blockchain allows for verification of your identity through a system of public and private keys, so that you, and only you, can access and manage your data. And finally, on a more meta level, there's computation. ObEN uses AI and machine learning to analyze the blockchain protocol itself in order to come up with more efficient ways of using the computing power that is necessary to run the blockchain. But is it a good idea for ObEN to rely on blockchain? On the one hand, yes. We saw before that blockchain is temper evident and that users can maintain the ownership of their data. This is a major advantage for attracting more users, especially when considering privacy concerns. Additionally, commercial uses of blockchain are still at an early stage. This gives ObEN the possibility to ride the wave early and make use of future innovations involving blockchain technology. On the other hand, blockchain is difficult to scale. Having a copy of an entire database in each node costs a lot of computing power. Additionally, there is still some resistance towards blockchain, and many people think of cryptocurrencies and scandals alone when they're asked about blockchain. In conclusion, the choice to use blockchain or not will depend on the business model that ObEN pursues. If it wants to attract a broad customer base, it is likely that blockchain will not provide enough opportunities for scalability. On the other hand, the more niche focus through joint ventures with entertainment companies will mean large amounts of data from relatively few customers and thus nodes. In this case, blockchain could actually be a good technology to rely on. As this dilemma points out, there are a number of strategic trade-offs that ObEN is facing. These can be seen as a triangle with three sides: scalability, quality, and privacy. Between scalability and quality, the AI and machine learning tools will result in better PAIs as they process more data. However, blockchain as a technology is not fit for scalability, as we've seen before. At the same time, blockchain is potentially useful technology to ensure privacy for customers, which could sway customer perception to adopting the technology more easily. This will increase the adoption of the PAIs, but at the same time lead to the same scalability problems. And finally, there's some tension between the quality of the data and privacy. Increasing quality will require more and more data to be processed, but at the same time, this data hunger could entice privacy concerns with customers. This is a critique often levied against the likes of Google and Facebook. Above all, the way the technology will be used by ObEN will put accents on different parts of the triangle. For example, for the healthcare case, the focus is likely to be on data security, because you'd be dealing with very personal info, whereas for the entertainment functionality, you might want to focus more on quality. Ultimately, ObEN will have to resolve this dilemma when they choose a specific business model.